What is going on, folks? This is Connor Martinez down at John's Sporting Goods in Everett, Washington. We are smoking fish at the Martinez house this weekend. We have a bunch of leftover salmon from last year, and we have a dozen new kokanee that we got on Lake Stevens today. I'm going to come at you with 3 different brines, and I will tell you the process on how I like to do it and how I like to smoke them. So I have my dozen kokanee in these bins. You still want to cure them, so I'm going to lay the fillets out. I'm going to salt them very generously, and then I'm going to put garlic powder and onion powder on them just to give that meat a little flavor. And then you can see I pile on the brown sugar, and I'm kind of smearing it around. I'm almost pushing it down just to really encapsulate these fillets in brown sugar. So when I pull this out of the brine in a day and a half and I go to smoke it, it just has created this candied crusted layer on the outside of these little thin fillets on the kokanee, and it's excellent. It's one of my favorite ways to do kokanee. So that is my first way. It's a dry brine. It's the brown sugar brine. It's a super easy one, and for kokanee, it's one of my favorites. Alrighty, folks, just finished up the brown sugar brine on the kokanee. Now let me take you to one of my other favorites, which is going to be a teriyaki brine. I am going to be doing this with the salmon now. I have a whole bunch of salmon that I need to cure and brine and smoke so I can preserve it. So all of my salmon fillets I cut into little chunks like so. And I like to cut them like this because I'll probably put 2 per pack when I vacuum pack these, and that's just the perfect amount of salmon for me and my family if we crack one of those open. So I have 2 different bins. I use this teriyaki sauce. I don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to say it, but I use 2 of these jars per container. I add 20 ounces of water to each container just to thin it out a little bit. This is a thicker teriyaki, so I got to thin it out just a little bit. And then I have my canning salt that I am adding basically a handful of that per container. And then I'm adding my onion and garlic powder to it. I added a lemon. I squeezed a lemon in each one of these, a whole lemon. And the last piece I add to this are these little 2-pound blocks of brown sugar. And I put 1 of each of those in each of these brines. So the teriyaki brine is a lot like the brown sugar brine. It's going to really encapsulate this salmon. It's going to just make this candied outside crust to the salmon, which is one of my favorites. So you can kind of see now, there is thinner teriyaki, but I like using the thicker stuff because it really just coats these salmon well. And you can kind of see the consistency. It's a real syrupy kind of consistency, and that's probably my favorite way to do it. And that's why I add the brown sugar to it as well. So I'll take all of my fillets, and I'm gonna put skin side up, and then I'm gonna put the meat side down, and I'm just gonna pile these in here and fill these up until I think I have enough in here. And then I'm going to let this brine for probably a whole day. So it's going to brine the same amount of time as my brown sugar brine. That's why I'm doing them all at the same time. I can pull them out and smoke them all at the same time. And we'll have a whole bunch of new smoked salmon. So that's my teriyaki brine. This is one of my personal favorites. And I highly recommend you try it. And we'll go from here. I have one more brine to show you. So I'll show you that one next. Alrighty, folks, we are on our 3rd and final brine that I like to use for my smoked salmon recipes. I would say this is the #1 choice by everybody that I do this for and give my smoked salmon. They would choose this one out of all of them. I prefer that, ultra thick candy, kind of syrupy coating on the outside of the smoked salmon. That's my favorite flavor, but that's not everyone's favorite flavor. We're still using brown sugar and all the same ingredients in this, but we add a bunch more water, so it mellows this one out. And like I said, it's probably the most preferred out of the ones that I do. If I'm going to tell you to do one, this is going to be the one I tell you to do, just because it's so universally liked. So I have these big bins. I have added 100 ounces of water to these, so there's a bunch of water in here, and we're doing the same process. We're going to cure it. I do 2 handfuls of salt in each one of these. I'm doing my garlic and my onion powder in these, and if you like more garlic or more onion, just shake more in there. I never measure any of this. I'm just shaking and going. So if you like more garlic, add more garlic. Do what you want. And then I have those 2-pound little blocks of light brown sugar. I don't like using the dark brown sugar. I like the light brown sugar. I forgot to mention that before. And I have 2 pounds in here, and I have 2 pounds in here. So I'm still getting that sugary kind of coating on it. It's just not going to be quite as intense. And then I have 3 lemons that I cut in half, squeezed in here. So I have 3 lemons in here and 3 lemons in here. So those are kind of the ingredients and the process that I like to do. And it is Friday at 5 p.m. and then this stuff is going to get smoked with the other stuff, and that will be Sunday around 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. on Sunday. So we have a day and a half of this curing, which is going to be awesome. And then when I'm done curing this, so when I wake up Sunday morning, I'm going to be pulling these off and putting them on the smoker racks and then shuttling them to my smoker. I have a big smoker, so I can do quite a bit of salmon. I should be able to squeeze all of this on mine. And then I am cold smoking mine. So I'm using just those little Traeger smoker tubes. The temperature in my smoker never reaches probably above 70 degrees, so it's a really cold, nice smoke. I don't have to worry about overcooking these or over smoking them where, you know, the internal temp's getting so high and you're drying your salmon out. I can smoke them as long as I want, and then I will start my Traeger 6 or 8 hours after I start smoking, and then I will finish them off on my Traeger, and then I will be checking the internal temp with a little digital thermometer so I can be sure that all of these are perfectly cooked. I'm looking for 130 degrees internal temp, and so I can check all of them, and then I can pull them off, and I vacuum pack and freeze them. So I got a great process. We finally have all the cures and all the ingredients done, so I will see you guys Sunday morning, and we will go through how I like to pull them, rack them, smoke them, and then how I like to finish them off on the Traeger. Alrighty folks, our salmon and kokanee are brined and ready for the smoker. We cured them for a 24-hour stint. I pulled them right out of the cure and laid them on the racks, and then from the racks, they'll go in the smoker and I will start smoking them. I'm not drying these. I'm not washing off my cure. I'm not washing all that yummy flavor off of them like some people do. You totally can. I don't like to do so. So we have our kokanee with the brown sugar brine, and I'll get a close-up on this so you can kind of see which ones you like, but we have the brown sugar brine, we have the teriyaki brine in the middle, and then we have just the OG brine on the outside. So with the teriyaki, I like to do the sesame seeds, and I like to put black pepper on it. And then on our OG brine, I like to do black pepper. I just like I like it peppery, and it adds a little crunch to the outside. It's really good. This brown sugar brine looks so good. It's nice, sugary, coated, candied kokanee. I can already tell that one's gonna be really, really tasty, but here's our product. This is what we've created, and now it's time to smoke it for, we're gonna do 6 to 8 hours. Okay, folks, here's kind of a close-up of the kokanee. You can kind of see that really candied, yummy outside. Here is our teriyaki brine. Looks excellent. The sesame seeds just add a little crunch on the outside and some yummy flavor. And then here's just our OG regular brine. So you kind of see the differences in the few, and you can kind of pick and choose which one, but let's get to smoking. Alrighty guys, wanted to run through on how I like to cold smoke my salmon and kokanee. What I do is, in my smoker, I run 2 of these. I'm gonna fill them with pellets. I'm gonna burn the top of them, blow the flame out, and it's just gonna slowly burn through. It takes usually 4 to 6 hours for that to do so, so it's almost the perfect time on how long I wanna actually smoke this fish. You can use any pellets you want, Traegers, Green Mountain. These are Z grills. It's like a competition blend, so it's a little bit fancier. You kind of do what you want, but this makes it really accessible for all of you. You don't need this fancy smoker, this electronic smoker. This is like a cold smoke. You're not going to overcook your salmon, and your outcome of your product is going to be good every time. So basically, I'll smoke it for 6 hours, then I'll crank my Traeger up to like probably 170 or 200, and it sounds like it's too much, but to get the internal temp of the salmon up, it takes a little bit more. So I'll pull a rack off, I'll put it on my Traeger, and then I'm gonna thermometer and probe each one to make sure the internal temp's at 130. Then I pull them off, vacuum pack them, and we're done. So super easy way to get it like all of your salmon just about perfect and how you want it. You can't overcook it. There's nothing worse than having smoked salmon that's been cooked at 170 degrees for 6 hours. It turns into jerky and it's really dry. So this is the best way I've found to not have that outcome. So give it a try. Okay guys, we are getting closer to our smoked salmon being done. They have been smoking for 6 hours now. The internal temp on all of these is about 80 to 70 degrees, so we have not gotten it up to 130, which we want. So now I have my pellet smoker going, which is a Traeger. I have it set for 200 degrees, and now I'm gonna start pulling the racks out of my cold smoker I'm going to be putting them on my pellet smoker, and I will be checking internal temps on every piece of filet that I have in there, and I want it to reach 130 degrees. And once I feel comfortable that all of them are that temperature, I take them in here and then I'm gonna vacuum pack and then freeze them. And I won't touch this smoked salmon for a couple weeks. I want them to mellow out a little bit. I want all the juices and stuff to settle. So we are getting close. I will have my end product out here really shortly. And I can't wait to test a little bit of it and make sure I did a good job. Alrighty, folks. We have just pulled off our brown sugar brine kokanee. And these are just little pieces of candy. The internal temp was to 130, and now I will put another rack on and I'll start vacuum packing these guys. Alrighty, folks, let's pull off our teriyaki brine. There we go, right there. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Okay guys, here is our teriyaki brine. Looks delish. Okay, here is the original smoked salmon recipe. How it turns out. Looks yummy. Alrighty folks, that concludes the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. You learned about 3 different brines that I like to use for smoking salmon or kokanee, and you also learned my technique on how to smoke it and not overcook it. 130 degree internal temperature is what we're targeting for, and if you cold smoke it and finish it on the Traeger, you will have the same result every time you smoke fish, and it'll come out good every time. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.